Hello and welcome back. Hi, everybody. This is Patty Bennett. Today we have some really pretty cards and such an easy technique to review. So welcome. I am so glad that you're joining me. You might be joining me live on my Facebook broadcast. If you see the little red live button up there, you've joined me live and welcome. You might also be catching me on a replay, which is totally fine. I just wanted to say welcome to everyone. Hey, good morning, Dawn. Hey, Sally and Karen. Oh, and 5 other people. Hi, Elisa. Welcome, everyone. I am logging on just a moment early. So if you're watching the replay, feel free to skip ahead about a minute or two. I always like to just get set up, make sure that everything is ready and that I'm all, in the right place. Hi, Linda, Rosie, Kathleen, Donna, Margene, Chris, Patricia, Doreen. Oh my goodness. And from Australia. Hi, Chris from Australia. That's exciting. Kathleen from Florida. Oh my goodness. Thank you for joining me. So again, welcome. This is Patty Bennett, and I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator. I have been a demonstrator for over 25 years. Can you imagine that? That's a long time. I blog each day at pattystamps.com, and I wanted to let you know that these cards that we are making today will be on my blog February 6th. So if you're watching live, that means you're going to see these cards tomorrow. But I know a lot of you are watching the replay. So I just wanted to say welcome again. And oh my goodness, from Quebec. Yes, Tina, I love these brushes. So these are the blending brushes that we're going to be talking about today. And if you have them and you want to stamp along with me, grab your brushes, grab a couple of ink pads. Really, it doesn't matter what colors you grab, but you could, if you want to do what I'm doing today, I have used Calypso Coral, Flirty Flamingo, and Mango Melody. That's what I have used, if you want to use those. And for the green, I have also used my Stampin' Blends markers in Granny Apple Green. So up to you. If you want to stamp along today and learn some of these techniques, I am going to go over everything step by step and we'll make these cards. So I think we are at about the top of the hour, and I see that we have 100 people that have logged on live. Hi, Leticia. Hi, Holly, Betty, Maggie, Christy, Sharon, Amy, Michael. Oh my goodness. So many people joining. Thank you for joining. Hi, Joanne. Hey, Melissa. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Emily. So welcome back. This is our weekly Friday morning video. Well, for me, it's Friday morning. It's 11 a.m. And so today is February 5th. Again, if you see the little red live button up there, you know you have found me live. And I'm watching for your comments on the iPad over on the side. So if you comment live, I should be able to answer your questions. Let's see. Who was it? Holly is asking, what are the images from here for the sentiments. And I had the set, here it is. This one is from Lots of Heart. It's right here, and the heart is here, and I've stamped it on a die cut. So that is for this card. And then this one is the Many Messages. Let me, hang on, it's right behind me. Let me grab this. It is this big background stamp, and then there's a die that cuts out all of them. And I have those all die cut. I keep this cute little box here on my table. I stamped it in, about 5 different colors or so, and die cut them very quickly, put them in this little container, and then I can grab a sentiment. And that's what this one is. So yeah, we'll get to that, but we're going to do blending first. Jack, let's see, it just went by. Jacqueline, I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Yes, I hope this is helpful. Yes, Chris Ann is in the same time zone. Oh, and Florence from France, my goodness. Hi, Tammy. All right, so let's get going and talk about the blending brushes. They are on page 70 in our current new catalog. So this is the January to June catalog. The cover looks like this. And if you don't have a catalog, you don't have a demonstrator, and you need one, you can find a link on pattystamps.com to request a catalog, and I would be happy to be your demonstrator and help you with your orders. But this is where you'll find the brushes. They come in a set of 3 for $12. So basically $4 a brush, which is a really good price. These are really, really top quality. I love them. Then I also just wanted to show you the True Love paper that we are using is this black and white set of designs, page 11, True Love paper. And I thought it would be a good one to use because here are all the patterns. You can see that we have lots of floral patterns that we could work on coloring in. And that's what we're going to do with the blending brushes. So those are our basic supplies. And like I said, you can use any colors that you would like. But for these 2 cards, just grabbing my ink pads, Mango Melody, Calypso Coral, and Flirty Flamingo were my colors palette here. So I'm going to show you how to color in these flowers in the background and in the foreground, and how to do this ombre. That's what we're going to work on today with the blending brushes. Let me hang on. There's a whole bunch of comments going by. Oh, from Holland, hello. And from Alberta, Canada. My goodness. Let's see. Okay, Kathy is saying she doesn't have Stampin' Blends. You could color the leaves with a blending brush. You could also use any markers or watercolor pencils, or if you have a blender pen, I need to say it right, and an ink pad, you can color in that way. So whatever way you'd like to color the leaves is fine. You could also do one of the, this one, not a wide one like this, but you could do the water painters and ink. So whatever you'd like to color in if you don't have the blends. Okay, so before we get to actually creating these 2 cards, I just wanted to show you a couple of other cards and just give you sort of like a basic intro to the brushes. So this card was on my blog yesterday on February 4th, and it has just a hint of color on this designer paper with a blending brush. So I wanted to show you that just as a very, very, very quick intro to using the brushes and using this designer paper. I used Blushing Bride because this ribbon and this designer paper are a Blushing Bride color palette. So that's what I thought I would use. And I have a brush. Now, I know that you're probably going to ask, because it was already on my my business page this morning, can you wash these? So yes, you could wash these. However, if you're going to wash it and then you want to use a lot of colors on your project, you're going to need to wait and let this dry. So that's going to take a really long time. So my suggestion is, if you want to only have a few brushes, when you're done with a brush, with a color, done with a color, you just grab a scrap paper and you do this. And you just rub until the color is basically either really, really, really light or almost gone. So you can see it went from this to this just to sort of wipe off the color. Now it doesn't take the staining off, but it took the previous color basically out of there. And then you could go to a different color and keep going. What I have chosen to do, let me grab a couple of these, is to just keep one brush for greens, one for purples, one for dark blue, one for light blue, one for yellows and mango. I have one for like my lighter pinks and one for my darker pinks, one for my reds. So that's what I have chosen to do. I did not purchase like 40 or 50 of these to do all of the Stampin' Up! Colors. Who knows? I might down the road do that. But for now, I can get away with about like 12 to 15 of them is what I'm going to do. All right, so how do you use it? Here's what I do. I kind of tap, and then just so you can see on a clean part here, I tap and I just kind of test and I see how intense the color is. Now this is Blushing Bride, so it's super, super light. That's to be expected. If that were a darker color and I tapped, you're going to see a really dark blob. Okay, but that's sort of the basics. So you just start out by getting ink on here and tapping and testing it out. If you want a lot of color, you can like swirl like this, but that'll really saturate the brush. So I just tap if I'm just wanting a little bit of color, and then I'm just going to go on each flower. I'm starting in the center and I am swirling outward because I want a very soft look. I want a little bit of color in the center and I want it to soften as it goes out. That is the easiest way to use the blending brush. Like super easy, super quick, no super talent required. You don't have to worry about shading, blending, whatever. And then I used my scissors, I fussy cut it out, and I added it to my card. So that's like just blending brush 101, super simple. Don't worry about any other colors or blending or shading or whatever. So super easy. I think this is just the best way to start. Using that very same method, I did a similar card. I used Rococo Rose to deepen the color a little bit instead of matching it to the card. And I used a different floral pattern from the True Love designer paper. On this one, I did not color the leaves. I just wanted it super simple. On this one, I used the Mint Macaron Stampin' Blends. Or this one actually might be just Jade. I might have combined them. I do that a lot. I pull in colors from different blends, but just a little bit of the green. So you can see the difference there. A little bit more intense color and coloring the leaves versus sort of plain. Here's another one, same basic idea, same basic layout, coloring the flowers with the blending brush, starting in the middle, swirling as the ink sort of uses up. I mean, is that the right word? Runs out. That's a better word. So as the ink runs out, you're going to get lighter around the perimeter. Same idea. And then a stepped up version with some foil and die cuts, but same basic floral technique, just starting in the middle, swirling, and that's it. Super simple. You could not get easier for coloring flowers. Now, somebody asked about if they don't have the blends to do the leaves. So I was talking about other ways you could color it. And you can kind of be really careful and just get ink like right up at the top and just put it in a little bit and then get into smaller areas. And especially if you're cutting around it like this, it would be okay if the green sort of got outside of that. But you might want to mask your flower if you don't want any of the green blending brush to go into the flower. But that would be another way you could do that. So there are just 4 versions using the same basic technique, but stepping it up just a little bit each time. One last one, just a bonus, same idea, swirling the ink in the center and letting it run out as it goes to the outside. So that's just sort of 101 for your blending brushes and your floral designer paper. I'm going to pause before we create these and before I show you other samples, and I'm just going to check to see if there were questions. If you have a question, this would be a great time to type it in. Thank you very much. Everybody's saying beautiful. I'm glad you like that. Let's see. I'm just scrolling back, making sure. Okay, I didn't see any questions. So if you have a question about just that basic technique like this is your chance to type in your question, or a question about blending brushes as well. So these are our two patterns for these two cards. And then, hang on, I know I have a full piece of this. Oh, I already cut it. There it is. There it is. And then this is for our background. So I wanted to show you how to do these. Let's see. What is the black and white designer paper again? It's called True Love. These are the 12 patterns, and you will find it on page 11. It is part of Love You Always. It's a large suite with 2 bundles, lots of accessories, papers, and the True Love is number 154281. And you can order from my website if you do not already have a demonstrator. Yes, Lori, I went over that at the beginning about washing the brushes because that is the most common question. So I went over all that. If you want to watch the replay, in a nutshell, yes, you could wash them, but then it's wet and you can't just move on to another color. So I was showing that I have one for greens, one for reds, one for blues, one for purples, and that's sort of my MO for this. And you'll notice I do like to have a scratch paper so that I'm not muddying up my grid paper here. So this is the 8x8 grid paper for the Stamparatus. Or you could, just use a scratch paper or the back side of something that came out of your computer printer, whatever. But I just like to have that handy. So let's first just go over these two. And this is Mango Melody for this piece. And I did Calypso Coral on this one. So we are going to do a quick, you can see that I've got the whole piece in the background there. And then I've also got some from another piece that are cut out and layered here. That is this piece. And all I did, again, just testing it out, making sure that I don't have too dark of a blob. Start in the center and just go towards the outer part of that flower. Super simple. Now the paper does come in 12 by 12 sheets. I just have it cut down to 6 by 6 because it's easier for you to see on the camera. And also I didn't need to color a whole 12 by 12 piece with you. So I'm just doing the 6 by 6 so that we don't take all day, but at least you get the idea. So you can see really how quick this is. This does not take long at all. How quick is that, right? That's great, easy. So that would be the background for this card. Then I colored in the leaves, and I want to show you that technique in case you are not familiar. I've got the 2 Granny Apple green Stampin' Blends. So the light and the dark, that's how they come. They come in a 2-pack. Here's what I like to do. I saturate most of the leaf. I'm not going out to the very, very, very tips, but almost with the light. So this is the light Granny Apple Green. You want to lay down that color. And then that was the broad tip. This is the fine tip, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever you're comfortable with is fine. Then I'm going to put some dark where I feel that one leaf overlaps another, or where it's kind of behind the flower. And this one, since it's just sort of out in the open, it gets some color down the middle vein. And then I go back to the light And I just sort of blend that color out so that you don't see total dark and light. And the reason I don't go all the way to the tip is that I didn't want it to bleed outside the line, but it also just gives a little bit of highlight. It really makes, I think, really makes the leaf seem a little more lifelike than if you just do it all one color and all to the tips. It's sort of flat looking. All right, so I'm just going to do these quickly because I want to be able to cut this piece out and use it. So we were chatting earlier, if you don't have blends or you don't want to use the blends, you could use our regular markers, you could use watercolor pencils, you could use a blender pen and ink, you could use Wink of Stella dipped in ink. And you could color with whatever is more comfortable for you to color with. And I can see out of the corner of my eye, there's a whole bunch of comments going by. So as soon as I'm done coloring, I will look real quick for that. One thing I have done when I'm trying to do kind of more of a, I don't want to call it a masterpiece, but something where I'm really concentrating on the actual blending and colors for the flower, I will actually take a yellow, so a daffodil, a saffron, or mango, and I will do yellow around the tips of the leaves. And it's amazing how that little tiny bit just sort of makes it pop and it ties it back into the flower. So there is the background for this card. Now, excuse me, I'm just going to scroll back because I saw lots of comments going by. Let's see. Oh, no problem, Lori. Oh, good. I'm glad you're enjoying this. The yellow pops with the black and white. It sure does. Do I always start my coloring from light to dark? Generally, yes. Not always. I actually have, Patricia, I have a series of 13 Stampin' Blends video tutorials on my YouTube channel, and I go over lots of different ways to color and why I color different things in different ways. But in general, you want to lay down that light color, get that area saturated, put the dark so that it kind of blends into the light a little bit, and then blend out with the light. So light, dark, light in general is the way to get your best blending, but it's not a rule. You can do whatever you'd like. Good question though. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's see. Can I do one of the leaves with the blend? Do you mean the blender pen? Chris-Ann? Blending brush. Oh, the blending brush. Okay, so let me grab a green. So I have this one for green, and let me grab Granny Apple Green. And I think I have, since I already did those, let me grab a different scrap over here. So if we wanted to do a smaller area, see what I'm doing is I'm sort of tipping it up on its end like that and just checking. Okay, so I've got the color. Now, since I'm going to cut out the flower, this I would not do for that background piece because the green is going to go too far. But if I'm cutting it out, then I can just do this and I can add the color just sort of with the tip. I'm just going right there, and that works fine. You don't get as much of a contrast unless you maybe used several applications or a darker green. But you don't get that shadow effect, but it would work. So yeah, there you go. Good question, Chris-Ann. All right. Oh, good, Patricia. Thank you. All right. So we have this for our background. And then we need to do these leaves, excuse me, these flowers, well, leaves too. So let's do those and probably that clump right there. Do you think? I think yes. All right, and that is, let me just make sure, yep, Calypso Coral. And see how much darker that is when I test that out than when I was doing the Blushing Bride. I think we were doing it first. That was really light. So that's how you can really test it and see. And I'm going to start in the middle and just swirl outward. And I think this is gorgeous. Calypso Coral and Poppy Parade are kind of two of my favorite colors. And I think that this is just really beautiful on here. What do you think? I love that. And that's it. Like, don't overthink it. Don't overwork it. Just let it be. All right. Let's do real quickly on, it's only just one leaf actually. So again, whole thing saturated with the light, and then with dark Granny Apple Green down here, it's tucked behind the flower all the way around. So I want to give that some dark, and then right up the middle of the vein, and then just a quick swirl to blend out where those two colors meet. And that's it. That is all there is to that leaf. I am going to cut this off because I don't want it hanging out off of the card. So that's why I did not color that one. Okay, and then real quickly, while I cut this out, any questions so far about the blending brushes? Oh, I know, I was going to tell you, I'm sure that you're wondering, how are you going to store these? And the company that I love for storing my ink pads, my cardstock, my designer paper, my Stampin' blends is called Stampin Storage. It's not Stampin Up, so just not to be confused, Stampin Storage. They actually have come up with several designs for storing your blending brushes. And I have pre-ordered one, and I got a notice that it shipped. I was really hoping that I would have it for this video, but of course, when I get it, I will show you. But I opted for the version that's a stand that's going to be on my desk. And I believe I opted for the one that holds 25 brushes. And that's what I will be using. So I will show that to you as soon as it comes. And just keep it on my desk. And I can't wait because right now they're not very organized. All right, so there is our beautiful flowers that we are going to put onto our card. Isn't that easy and looks so pretty? I think it's just amazing. Amazing. Oh yes, Shan, that's a great idea. She said I could cut this off and use it on the inside of the card. That is a great idea. All right, so that's that, and that's our background. And let's make these. Oh, we have to do the ombre. We have to do that. So let's do that so that we can put these two cards together. All right, so that's our supplies for that. Okay, so ombre, I am going to actually do it on this scratch paper. And if you wanted to, you could tack it down. I think actually that can't hurt. I'm just going to put a tiny little, that's just like a little 1/4 inch spot of Stampin' Seal just to hold it so it's not, you know, shifting around. I have got Calypso Coral up at the top. And I know there's lots of ways you can do this, so whatever works for you is great. I start off the actual paper that I'm using. So you can see I started up here, swirling motion, and then just pull it down onto the paper that I want to color. And the more times you do it, it's kind of like a brayer. The more times that you keep doing this, the darker it's going to get. And as you pull your brush down and keep going, it's just running out of ink and it's lightening. So that's really all there is to it. And I'm going fairly lightly. I'm not really pushing much. I think if you push hard while you do this, you'd get kind of blobs, I think. I haven't tried it that way, but that's the darkest one. Hope it's not making anybody dizzy. Then I did Flirty Flamingo, and kind of the funny part is the Flirty Flamingo is like right here and it doesn't really even show. Oh well, so what I think I'm going to do is try to bring the Flirty Flamingo down a little bit farther and then the yellow and then not have as much white, just so we can see how that looks different. So this is my brush that's for like the kind of darker pinks and Flirty Flamingo. And now I'm just starting kind of at the edge of where my Calypso Coral is going to run out. And pulling that color down. There's a subtle difference between these two colors, but it is enough that it will make it look kind of like this real pretty ombre effect. You can keep layering as much or as little color as you'd like. And then we will move on to the Mango Melody. And you can see I have a lot less white down here because I was really trying to allow some of that Flirty Flamingo to show. And I'm just going back up in and blending because these three colors blend well together. I wouldn't do that if I were using like maybe, well, I don't even know, like a purple and a yellow. You wouldn't want to blend those because you'd get brown. But anyway, so there we go. That is our ombre background. What do you think? Not difficult, right? Not difficult. So again, Calypso Coral, Flirty Flamingo, and Mango Melody were my three colors. I'm looking on the iPad over here, and I can see it looks a little bit kind of splotchy, but really in person this has blended very, very nicely. I don't know if it's just my iPad or if it's the lighting, but it really actually has blended beautifully. So let's go ahead and put this one together. I have Daffodil Delight for my card base here. You could use Mango, and it's the 4 1/4 by 11, scored in half at 5 1/2. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to give that an extra crease. And I left this piece with a little bit of border. And I thought that was kind of nice to have that yellow showing on the sides. Now this one I cut down, this one I left full 5 1/2. You can have it however you'd like. Does not matter. I'll put that on. And I have a piece of the striped paper, and let's see, the back side is this, which we're going to look at in a minute. I don't tune off, by the way. When I get done making these, don't flip off, because I have more samples to show you. So I just, this reminded me that I have something over here set to the side that I used this on. So that was across here, just to give a little dark background behind the flowers. Oh, thank you. I'm seeing very kind comments over here. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you. Yeah, very soft, nice combo. These are Patty colors. I call them Patty colors. I love these colors. Now remember this sheet that we colored for the background of this card. I'm going to cut this to use on this card. And I had already done another sheet where I fussy cut out the flowers, because I didn't want you to have to watch all of that cutting. So I just thought I'd lay them out here, and I want to show you something. So these are full flowers, and then look at these. So these were all on the edge of the paper, like this one. And these, they were at the edge. I wanted to color them and cut them out and show you what I did on this card to use those, because you don't want to waste them. So I sort of just started by laying out the full flowers, and then I took these partial ones and I tucked them behind, and nobody would ever know. So let's see, what if we did something like that? And look, you could never tell. Well, maybe, okay, I take that back. So right there, you could tell. So what I would do then is I would probably like cut off a leaf and put it there to cover that, which I actually did somewhere over here. I added a leaf where there was right here. This leaf is covering up one of those edges. Or I could add another flower, or I could just kind of rotate this so that it tucks under more. But that's the idea of using up those partial pieces and making it kind of an illusion. So let's put, I use foam tape. You can use dimensionals. Let's see, I have a scrap here. It comes in a sheet. So the foam adhesive sheet comes this large, and I just have a little bucket of them that are all different scraps and cut down. And instead of using several dimensionals, I personally like to use pieces of this. So we need to cut some of that off, and that will do. And that way it makes it, you can tell that it's not going to droop in the center, and you don't have to sit there picking off all those extra dimensionals. So I just personally really love the foam tape. And then like just for that leaf, we would go ahead and put an extra one there. All right, so now I know that I am going to have this flower tucked up there. So I'm just going to put adhesive, and I'm just going to have a leap of faith, and I'm going to stick it down. And yep, we're going to go for it. We're going to make this work. We're going to figure out whatever we need to figure out for covering that up. All right, so if I do that, then I tuck. Oh, look, perfect. And nobody would ever know, right? How fun is that? I thought that was very cool. Yes, I like it. On this card, I used white baker's twine and my Mango Melody Stampin' Blend, and I colored it to go with this. And as I was searching for my mango, or my white baker's twine, I don't know what happened to it. It's somewhere. I can't find it. But I came across this one, and this is from the Playful Pets suite. And I was like, ooh, look at that. What do you think? I think this could be cool. So I'm going to make a double width, and I'm going to tie a bow, and we're going to see how this looks. But I just love the black and white and the kind of the starkness and the contrast. I think it's going to be really cool. All right, so we have a bow. What do you think? Black and white? Oh, now I'm not positive if I like it as much as I thought I would. What do you think? Let me know while I look for a greeting for this. Let me know what you think. Maybe I don't like it as much. Tell me what you think. Let's look for a greeting. So this was from the many messages that I showed you earlier. Oh, hooray, it's your birthday. That would be cute. Just a card to say hello. That's the same greeting, different color. What else? I love having this on my desk. Thank you ever so much. That would be cute. Oh, that's blank. Okay, well. Hooray, it's your birthday. That's the same one, but that color doesn't go as much in my mind. Let's see. That color doesn't go. I don't think I would add blue to that. It's okay, but I think we'll go with one of these three. So let me see. Yeah, no stripe gets lost. Yeah, okay. Put it on top of the flower for contrast. Yeah, I thought I would really love it, and I'm not in love with that. But you know what? We're going to save it because this might work into another card that is similar. Yeah, it doesn't show. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. You guys confirmed my suspicion. So we could do the same greeting. Maybe thank you ever so much over there. Maybe hooray, it's your birthday. I like that. I think we're going to do that. And look, here's a piece of foam adhesive sheet that's going to work perfect. Ta-da! And we'll add that. I like that. Let's give it like a little bit of a tuck under that leaf. Just a little. I like that a lot. And then I used my Elegant Faceted Gems. Can you see here? There's 5 of them on this card, the clear. But I also thought that the black dots might look awesome. So I think I'm going to try it. And if we don't like it, we can take them off. So, oh, you know what? That's funny though, because with the polka dot, that's kind of weird. Yeah, I think let's save this for another project as well. Let's do the clear Elegant Faceted Gems. These are so beautiful, and as you can see, you can color them. I've got several here that are colored with Stampin' Blends that I was using on another project. And I think these are just beautiful. Just gorgeous. Okay, so there we have it. We used our colored in flowers. We used our ombre background. What do you think? Oh, add the bow below the sentiment. We could. I'm not in love with it. Perhaps if it weren't the striped. Yeah, I think my idea wasn't so grand after all. But anyway, what do you think? So that is that card. I like it. I think it's so pretty. Let's do the other card real quick, and then I will show you the other ideas that I had. So this card base is the thick basic white. That's our new, took the place of Whisper White. 4 1/4 by 11. And then I used my paper trimmer to cut a 4 by 5.5. Grabbing my paper trimmer. And I know because everybody always asks about this I added that, and it was from Amazon. And if you want to add something like that, you search on Amazon for self-adhesive ruler reverse. It has to be a reverse ruler because it counts backwards. And it's a peel and stick, and I stuck it on there. And I like it because when I put my paper here, I'm covering up my numbers, and I like to see numbers. So I'll just get that out of the way and just let you know that that's what that is, and that's what I did. We will add this 4 by 5 1/4, 5 1/2, excuse me, 4 by 5 1/2 to the side fold thick white card base. And I have another stripe, so I had that striped piece on each card, and I put that one down here. About there. Okay. And then right in the beginning, somebody had asked about the greeting. So this is the Hippo and Friends dies. And the greeting is from Lots of Heart. And if you haven't seen this tip in my other videos, when I use photopolymer stamps, I like to put the stamp down, as you just saw, on my grid paper and let it sit for just a second, and then pick it up with the block. If you try to lay the stamp onto your block, chances are it's going to get crooked, and this gives me a very straight image. Just, again, it's not one of those things that you absolutely have to do, but it's what I like to do with my photopolymer stamps. And since it's photopolymer, let me grab my foam mat, and I am going to stamp it on my grid sheet just to make sure. Yep. I always like to make sure that there isn't like a fuzz or just a problem or something with the stamp. Perfect. And then the little heart. It's in the same set. Sorry, I'm fumbling over here, trying my best not to knock the camera. The little heart. It looks like there's a fuzz on here. Let me just make sure. Yep, there was. Hang on. Gotta get that off. Okay, it's gone. Little heart. Perfect. And again, that die is from Hippo and Friends. Yes, Shan, exactly. Using this foam mat, she's saying she gets a perfect image every time with photopolymer. The reason is when you are using a photopolymer stamp, there's no red or no foam behind it, behind the, like a red rubber stamp. And so you need that extra foam to get a really good image. In a pinch, you could probably use mouse pad, but this foam mat is really thick and I really like that result. Okay, the pretty flowers. So this, we're going to put some of those. I just have a little box of scraps of the foam adhesive sheets. I'm just going to cut a couple, and we're going to put that on. This just gives a little better coverage, I think, than a whole bunch of dimensionals. And let's see, I think we'll do it this direction. Put that on. And then we have our, I wonder what maybe the black dots would be on this card. What do you think? Shall we try them on this card? Oh, things just scooting everywhere. Oh, I think so. maybe, like, don't overthink it. Let's just go with 3. I like that. So there's a difference between those clear, elegant gems and the black dots. I kind of like that. That's different. What do you think? All right. So there is a great example of the ease of coloring with your blending brushes onto the designer paper, fussy cutting them out, and making really quick cards. Oh, good. Yes, you like the black. Good. Awesome. So now I have some other things to show you. Okay. So let me just scoot these a little bit and show you these other ideas. So the very first paper that we colored with just basic Blushing Bride with the blending brush, just super easy. I wanted to show you that paper colored with the blending brushes with all different colors. So kind of interesting, right? Gives you just a little different look. I blended different colors, just quick. I mean, this is not supposed to be like your 35-minute masterpiece. This is just quick. This was like maybe 2 minutes. And for the blue, since it's a tiny area, I used my Balmy Blue Stampin' Blend and just quickly colored that in. Not trying to be super duper artistic, just give it color. And then I took the yellow blending brush and just lightly swirled until my ink ran out in the background, just so that it wasn't a white background. So that's just something different. And then I have to show you. So this pattern, when I first saw this package of designer paper, my brain just said, oh, that's too much. I can't, like, I just can't. That's, oh my goodness, I'm on overload. And I could not even think to myself of coloring in every one of these flowers with Stampin' Blends or watercolor pencils. I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this sheet? But with the blending brushes, super, super, super quickly, 3 different colors, and I thought that turned out really pretty. The leaves are the light mint macaron Stampin' Blend, colored very quickly, very lightly, just to give a little bit of green. So just turning this really busy, like, I'm sorry, this hurts my brain pattern into that, I think is gorgeous. So I will make that into a card. Similarly, this pattern, I thought the same thing. It's very busy. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it. And I did not want to take the time to color every one of these flowers in detail with shading and all of that. So I just took Rococo Rose and I'm pretty sure Blushing Bride. Yep, Rococo Rose and Blushing Bride. And I just swirled ink. I just swirled. And then at the very end, I wanted a little bit darker. So I took the Mary Merlot and I just hit the centers of about 6 of the flowers. So again, Blushing Bride, Rococo Rose, Mary Merlot, and just quick, very quick, and you get a beautiful background. So turning that into that, or turning that into that. What do you think? Do you like that idea? I thought that was really pretty. I thought that was a great way to use this busy pattern. And then lastly, remember how we did this ombre background? So I decided to take this piece and just do sort of an ombre, but I just wanted it to sort of flow. So I used Magenta Madness, Highland Heather, Seaside Spray, and Misty Moonlight. And my my blending brushes, and those 4 colors, and just randomly added those colors. And where they meet, you sort of blend them a little bit, just so that you don't have like a line. But I just thought, this is a great way to use these patterns that you want to have color, but I mean, who is going to take the time to color every single one of those with a marker or some kind of a pencil or whatever, right? So that is my final set of tips here for using those patterns. Do you like it? Do you like it? Oh, Tammy, thank you. She said she's proud of me for using the blues and purples. Yeah, because see, these are Patty colors. These are Tammy colors. And Tammy has enlightened me and encouraged me to use colors outside of my comfort zone, and I'm so grateful. It's been so fun these past several months to be influenced by other wonderful stampers like Tammy. So yes, thank you again for encouraging me to do that. So that is our range of projects and my ideas and tips, and we have been crafting for almost an hour. Did any of you craft along with me? I'm just curious if you did, if you were using your blending brushes along with me. You are welcome. Thank you, Louise and Nell and Christine, Catherine, Marlene, Melissa. Thank you, Shan. Oh, thank you. Everybody is enjoying this. Oh, good. Shan said she crafted along. Good. Thank you, thank you. So again, blending brushes are on page 70, I believe. Did I remember that correctly? Yes, page 70. And I don't have any idea if they will still be available after the end of this catalog. I am like fingers and toes crossed that these will be in our annual catalog, but you don't know. So get them while you can. And again, they are a set of 3 for $12. If you need help with orders or catalogs, have questions, I have a contact form and an order link and a catalog request form at pattystamps.com. And you will find these cards on February 6th. This one was on my blog yesterday on the 4th. And then I will get these on my blog soon. So, any questions that I can answer for you before I let you go? Oh, good, Teresa. She says she's going to get out her brushes and paper and get coloring. Awesome. That is what I was hoping, that everybody would be inspired. Yes, Elisa, we all have colors that we lean towards, right? Yes, definitely. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Chris, Donna, Louise, Melissa, Ellen, Cindy. Oh, thank you, everybody. Yes, I do hope these brushes will be available in the next catalog. I really do. All right. Yes, Susan, all of my Facebook Lives are archived on my Facebook business page. I also put them all on my blog and on my YouTube channel. So this video will be here tomorrow on the 6th, and it will also be on my YouTube channel in a few minutes. I have over 450 videos on my YouTube channel. So just search for Patty Stamps or search for Patty Bennett on YouTube, and you will find all of my videos archived there. Yes, Jerry, the replays are always archived on Facebook. They don't go away. So the page that you're on right now, you will find all of the videos I've done for years on there. They're all there. Excellent questions. Oh, thank you, Shan. Thank you. Oh, Cindy, we went over all of that at the beginning. So watch the replay and you'll get the information about how I am using different colors on different brushes. All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate you spending some time with me on Fridays, and I will look forward to next week. I have a bucket over here of what we are going to talk about next week. Thanks again, and I will see you soon. Bye.